In this video, I want to go over 7 ways to manage and soothe symptoms of chronic gut problems on the road and how to travel more and create hope or a positive mindset for being able to travel while you have gut problems. For those of you new to this channel, I'm Vivian. I'm a full-time traveler who's spent the last 11 years traveling the world solo, and I've been to 61 countries since the age of 5. For the last 22 years, I've struggled with gut symptoms and mysteries, and recently I figured out that I have endometriosis, which is a big factor for all of what I'm about to cover. And what that looks like from day to day and when I try to travel or do anything in my daily life is chronic constipation, bloating, painful periods, and a whole host of symptoms and co-conditions of the disease endometriosis. So the first thing I want to cover before anything about diet or lifestyle is mental health and therapy. I think that everything in our life is completely mental. With the exception of extreme cases, I think everyone's capable of doing whatever they want and that we can achieve whatever we can dream. So the only difference between actually doing it and not doing it is the belief in yourself. When I started traveling, I didn't know I had endometriosis, and I didn't know that I didn't have to have these symptoms. So I would also say not knowing meant I didn't have a choice. So just to give context, I was already traveling, and it was during my travels that I figured everything out. Starting therapy was something that I put off for a long time, and then towards the end of the lockdowns and the pandemic, one friend asked me, "Did you know that you could feel good?" Because she just saw me worrying a lot and anxious about everything. And so I think going to therapy gave me that choice back. The other aspect of how everything is mental is the mindset you choose to view challenges in life with. I'm currently starting the new year off with this wonderful book about growth mindsets and fixed mindsets, and it's just talking about how far the point of view that you can learn anything and work on anything can get you. The attitude of being able to change things and being the director in your own life is what even brings me to YouTube now. I turned to YouTube to figure out how to surf when I didn't feel like local surf lessons were getting me very far in Sri Lanka, and when I started standing up on and turning into my own unbroken waves, I tasted magic, and I believed in YouTube a lot more, and I used it to learn other things. And because I'm faced with the challenges of endometriosis now, if I share on YouTube, I can help other people. Right now, the biggest challenge staring at me in the face is how I can cough up about $80,000 to get completely worked up for my endometriosis, because it's affected so many body systems, and there is a huge limiting factor of affordability for the correct type of surgery. So for the 3 months of pelvic floor physical therapy, endometriosis excision surgery, and the recommended neuro work, back pain, bladder work, and egg freezing that I have to consider, plus the cost of living in the United States where I want to do the surgery, that is the target budget right now. And if I talk to any friend, it's really discouraging, and they just keep telling me how no one has that amount and it's impossible in this day and age. But I know that's also not true. I know that the online space is full of opportunities. Living in Vietnam is leverage. So I'm choosing to let go of any limiting beliefs and choose a growth mindset with my own challenges right now. All that goes to say is that if you're feeling strapped down with daily gut complications and you really feel a lot of pressure on your health and that you need to prioritize it and spend money on it, there are ways to travel and work on this at the same time. Obviously, everyone's endometriosis and everyone's health is really personal and different, so I can't say I was able to do this and anyone with endometriosis would be able to. I just think no matter how severe your symptoms are or whatever your situation in front of you looks like, the mindset is really the difference between a fulfilling and happy life and not. So yeah, I have this target for $80,000 in my mind. In the book Think and Grow Rich, Napoleon Hill teaches a technique where he wants you to have a target number of money in your mind and write it down on a piece of paper and think about it and the plan to get there every day and night. It's one of the classic personal finance books. It does sound unscientific, but it works. He gives many examples in history of how knowing what you need and being dead set on it will make you automatically see all sorts of opportunities all around you. So after therapy comes an anti-inflammatory lifestyle. That means for eating, avoiding gluten, dairy, sugar, processed foods, and vegetable oils as much as you can. Another thing is making sure you get 7.5 hours at least of quality sleep and deep rest every night. And so protecting your sleep hygiene and making sure you get 5 full REM cycles of sleep. For me, that looks like trying to sleep at least 8 hours every night or some buffer so that I have time to fall asleep. Other anti-inflammatory lifestyle musts are trying to spend more time in nature because we're always at a desk or indoors, and it's very important to have contact with and see nature in front of the naked eye. Other anti-inflammatory changes we can make in our lifestyle are to reduce stress wherever we can, whether that's saying no to extra hours, turning down a job that just doesn't seem right, and spending more time with friends, journaling or exercise, and budgeting for that luxury gym membership because it means that much to you. And it's also very important to maintain a social life and a support system because being isolated is unhealthy and stressful for the body as well. Specifically within diet, eating a low FODMAP diet has really helped me with my gut symptoms because it eliminates a lot of the gas-causing foods. FODMAPs is an acronym that stands for different classes of highly fermentable sugars naturally found in foods such as pineapple, watermelon, garlic, onions, too much avocado, certain grains like bread. And anyone with a lot of bloating, they start to emotionally associate bloating and discomfort with certain foods that most other people are eating and feeling healthy and eating guilt-free. Something that really helps me stick to the low FODMAP diet is the 80-20 rule. Following the 80-20 rule actually makes me more likely to stick to it overall. So it's very important not to be 100% because many times that I've tried to eliminate gluten all the way, it just made me really crazy and it was tough for my mental health and social life. So it shouldn't feel like torture. It should feel like an empowerment. Do I ever fall off the cliff and eat high FODMAPs or foods that I shouldn't be eating more than 20% of the time? Yes, of course, it really depends on life itself. When certain days are really bad with endometriosis symptoms, you can really have little motivation to care about anything. So it's okay to allow those life days as well. The quantity of every FODMAP matters. So that doesn't mean you can't eat anything with FODMAPs at all. Just eat it within the certain quantity that's recommended, separating it from other ones into different meals. If you look at everything you are allowed to eat, it's actually a very diverse diet full of colors, fruits, vegetables, and proteins. After working up my gut with a gut expert, the final verdict that worked the best for me so far, and this is highly variable per person, has been a low FODMAP diet with medium carbs. So not really avoiding carbs and going high fat, low carb, and not being high carb, just medium carb. Next, I want to cover supplements that have really been life-changing on this gut journey. I think so many supplements out there don't really have anything in them, or they have something in them that's not what the label says. So this is where quality can really bring you really far, but otherwise you're just wasting your money. The more you do pay for a probiotic or a supplement, the more likely you're really gonna get something out of it. And if it seems too affordable, sometimes it's better just to do without it and to approach every new supplement that you try with a lot of curiosity because it's kind of like throwing darts. Some of them are gonna work and really make you feel a difference, and some of them are going to feel like you didn't do anything at all. The first category of supplements that really repaired me back together after having 4 months of diarrhea in India was probiotics, and a high quality probiotic. Our human guts have 30 to 100 trillion bugs inside them. That means a battlefield and network and intricate system of bacteria, fungi, and archaea. Sometimes when you're traveling and you have gut problems, your gut becomes weak because it becomes chronically overpopulated with some bad bacteria. And so when you flood the gut with good bacteria, that can really build back your gut microbiome integrity. If you take them long term, it really just makes you feel better prepared to take on anything because technically the probiotics last for as long as they're in your system. They don't last forever, but they can really bring you back to health if you're really suffering from food poisoning. Other things that I love are L-glutamine. L-glutamine keeps the lining of your gut slippery and healthy, and it's very good for sealing the gut. That helps keep out toxins from your bloodstream and filter properly. I will link my favorite L-glutamine down below. It is so important and has saved my skin when I was trying to figure all of this out. I absolutely love the brand Love Wellness. They have a whole line of really helpful supplements for gut problems for women. The owner actually has endometriosis herself. And so the top products that have really made me feel a difference are Sparkle Fiber, Bye Bye Bloat Digestive Enzymes, the vaginal probiotic called Good Girl Probiotic. You take it orally. The Love Wellness boric acid suppositories called The Killer are very effective for managing chronic symptoms of vaginal microbiome imbalances when you have gut problems problems. And if you own a vagina, then you likely have vagina problems because of the gut-vagina axis. And the boric acid suppositories are less damaging to the rest of the body than antibiotics, and they're definitely worth trying if you have chronic yeast infection symptoms and bacterial vaginosis symptoms. Other things that have really helped me maintain my life abroad with gut problems include a bidet and laxatives. The bidet started in Japan when that's just a default in a lot of the toilets there, and I often heard people talking about how important it is to clean yourself using that after having a bowel movement. If I have endometriosis, which must be confirmed with the expensive surgery that I referenced earlier, it's possible that my gut and my bowels are wrapped together or stuck together with other organs. And so that was, as like a late teen and in my early 20s, that was causing a lot of straining and even hemorrhoids or even bloody stools. Once I got to Japan in my travels and started really becoming comfortable with using water to clean myself after going to the bathroom, I haven't been without a bidet in 6 years in all these Asian countries, because South Asia, Southeast Asia, and Korea and Japan all use a bidet. Women with endometriosis and bowel problems often describe feeling like every time they poop, it feels incomplete or like they can never fully fill or empty their rectum. And that's totally a common symptom. As far as laxatives go, pink dragonfruit always keeps me regular when I need it. And it's a fruit found in Southeast Asia, and it really helps. Senna is another one. When you buy Smooth Move teas, they have senna in them, but I recently learned that those tea bags are full of microplastics that release into your drink when you pour the hot water on them, so I've been moving away from that. As an emergency, there's always over-the-counter laxatives that I don't really recommend because they can be way too strong, and I've had accidents trying to take them. Finally, another physical helper with gut problems is clothes. I had a friend once tell me her mom raised her saying, if you think you look good, then you're gonna act like you look good. And so it has been really important for me. I actually took out from my savings to invest in some dresses and clothes that were more flattering when you're always bloated and that are more forgiving at the waistline. I'm talking about flare dresses that have kind of like a band at the chest or under the chest rather than a band at the waist. Then when you don't really feel that tightness and protrusion against your clothes or waistband, you're more likely just to be comfortable and forget about it, which is something that we might need to do until we are able to get the surgery or the procedure. What I've been doing is shopping on Uniqlo for nice cotton dresses that are bloat friendly, and it's gotten to the point where I go straight for the maternity line and I buy cotton underwear on Uniqlo for pregnant women, and that has really helped me feel fine in underwear, which is honestly a daily moment for everyone that many people take for granted, but that we can't if we have gut problems. And stretchy pants with very loose waistbands and loose tops that cover up the belly to kind of make me not always focused on how bloated I feel and full I feel down there versus a crop top, which I usually avoid now. If you enjoyed this video and you want to understand how to travel with chronic gut problems and endometriosis symptoms, you might enjoy this video over here where I go over what endo belly is and how it's impacted me and how I was able to find and start managing the symptoms of being bloated all the time for more than 20 years.